Hey, happy Thursday. I've got a bit to talk about. Unfortunately, I didn't write it down, so I don't really have a good script going. It's going to be a lot of babbling, and I do apologize. Um, a small while back, when I talked about Saudi Arabia telling the U.S. don't support Israel or else we cut off your gas and oil and all this good stuff. Um, but even before that, I can't remember which segment. I racked my brain trying to remember which segment it was, but it was telling about be aware of what our political leaders are doing and how they're and who's doing what while we're going under these crises or the next crisis that comes up concerning our gas and fuel line, gas and oil and fuel. Okay. And the reason why I say this is because earlier this week, my governor Greg Abbott started authorizing fracking again in areas where it's not supposed to. In this case, it's over in Denton, Texas, which is just north of Dallas-Fort Worth area. In between, well, right beside two lakes with a river and the river that branches out in different areas all around. And as we all know from that very same footage in Cleveland, Texas, where fracking was being done, a guy turned on his water hose, put a lighter to it, and the water, there was fire on top of water because it was combustible water. It was flammable water. And that was back then. Fracking regulations were set up and all this good stuff, and they were put into place. Now, my worthless Texas governor is trying to start this crap up again. He's got former ecologists and former wildlife preserve advocates that are now members of the gas and fuel industry that are working as representatives of the fracking companies, and they're all saying no, it's harmless, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Meanwhile, every single organization that didn't sell out to the oil company is saying yes, it is. It's still a bad thing, and you shouldn't be allowed to frack for oil inside a city where there's neighborhoods, where there's kids, there's hospitals, and all this stuff, where everybody depends on their water, as well as non-contaminants produced in the air. Now, this is mostly a hydraulic fracking, which is environmentally safe as far as not having any kind of minerals and chemicals in the air, like the way it would be if they were blasting or ordinary drilling. But it's still fracking. And it still poisons our water. And it still is a big disruption to everything, concerning the land. And with this deregulation of the fracking inside city limits of towns and cities, it's just going to cause a lot more sickly people, a lot more harm than good. And this is the crap that reverts me right back to what I was talking about concerning Biden and all these oil companies and all this good stuff. Remember, Saudi Arabia says don't support the Jews or you don't get any deals with us. Venezuela, take our immigrants that we kick out of our land or you don't get any oil from us. Russia, you tolerate me bombing any and every country that I feel like for their oil, and you will pay for it and you will like it. Or you get no business. Okay? All of these ultimatums that were given to America, and yet the only people that we can actually laugh them off if America would actually cooperate with America. The corporations in the oil and fuel industry, if they were to actually cooperate with America and the regulations and all this good stuff, keeping our lands secure, safe, and all this stuff while doing their jobs, We could laugh off any country that says, screw you, tolerate our bullshit or you don't get our business. We could be doing that, but instead we got these gas price gouges. We've got the corporate America saying, "Oh, Biden needs to, the president needs to relax on the regulations, or else we can't do anything." That's all that they're doing. When it technically, that's not only wrong, it's not only incorrect, it's just downright wrong. We have 7 refineries that I'm still not even sure have been reopened, and the corporations and all this don't want to do anything unless the government pays for a brand new one, despite the fact that the gas and oil companies can actually afford to open up a new one themselves. They don't want to do it without our tax-paying dollars, so they're not budging. This problem wouldn't even be a problem if the oil and fuel companies, if the oil and fuel industry would just cooperate with America instead of being so selfish and greedy and lazy to top it all off. They have every ability to work together and create more refineries, American refineries that help with American jobs. Yeah, I know that they keep saying that while showing a pipeline, but a pipeline is nothing but hassles. I already read off the thing about it. 600,000 barrels a day, and we lose 398 of it in the process because of cracks, leaks, and complete breaks. Because pipelines are anchored to the earth, and the earth is always shifting. So screw the oil companies and their babbling bullcrap, and their representatives that turned coded from being an ordinary environmentalist examiner to an oil and fuel industry representative with a bigger check. Which that's the only reason why they're doing that. It's because of the money that the oil and fuel industry throws at them. So yeah, again, I do apologize for not scripting this. I'm kind of going all over the place, and I do apologize for that. But yeah, we've got a problem that's coming up very soon because the bill hasn't fully been passed. Right now, it's being opposed by activists and a lot of politicians that see the problems with fracking inside city limits of a town. But it's said the reason it's said that it might be up and running again. It might actually be passed in the March or February debate next year. So we've got a couple of months before they start doing that. However, I have to reiterate, watch what they do, because they could say, oh yeah, okay, well, we don't want to do any harm. But at the same time, they're out sending trucks and tractors and machinery to the locations that they want to go. I don't care what environmentalists said, it's good business and all this good stuff. Maybe. But it's a lot of business that does a lot of harm, and that's what thwarts good business right out the window. We just got to stay tough. We got to stay cool. We got to stay on top of this. Right now, it's just something that might happen, but we can make sure that it doesn't happen if we constantly stay on top. We constantly support the activists that are actually taking the time to confront this babbling bullcrap that our political leaders, along with the oil industry, is saying. In this case, Governor Greg Abbott, his administration, and the companies that he's allowing to do this with, to frack inside the town limits or city limits, where residents, live, where residents are, schools, hospitals, police station, fire station, they will all be subjected to being sick if the fracking is done inside a city limit or a town limit. In this case, Denton, Texas, which is just a little bit north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And that is wrong. We can't have that happening because that's just plain wrong. Again, all of this could have been prevented if the oil companies would just plain cooperate with the law, rules, and regulations of what America needs them to do. You know, they're doing a lot of resistance and a lot of name calling and a lot of accusations and a lot of denials and all this stuff. Progress could have been done throughout all this time. So, what we got is that sneakiness that I'm talking about. Everybody's attention is over to Israel right now. Just like the way before that, everybody's attention was over to the Ukraine. Just like before that, everybody's attention was over to the border. And that's still going on. That's true. But look at what's going on underneath that. Look what's going on behind closed doors. Look what's going on while this is going. So, these days, right in front of us. You know, you just signed a bill passing fracking, which we all know for the past 2 decades is a bad thing. You gotta be aware of what's going on, okay? Support the activists that are opposing this bullcrap that my politicians like my worthless governor is trying to get away with. And make your stands, you know? Make sure everybody hears it. Pass the word on, just like the way I am with this podcast, you know? Make sure everybody knows, okay? Aside from that, it's the pre-weekend, so I'm hoping that everybody out there stays safe and takes care of themselves and all this good stuff. Y'all take care, take it easy. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.